Paddington in Peru is not being directed by Paul King this time. This time it's being directed by Dougal Wilson. And this film stars Hugh Bonneville, Emily Mortimer, Antonio Banderas, Olivia Colman, a great cast. Of course, once again, bringing back the voice of Ben Whishaw as Paddington. Paddington travels to Peru to visit his beloved Aunt Lucy, who now resides at the home for retired bears. With the Brown family in tow, a thrilling adventure ensues when a mystery plunges them into an unexpected journey through the Amazon rainforest and up to the mountain peaks of Peru. I think we can all agree here that the first two Paddington films are some of the best family films to ever exist. Like, the first film is just so great, and the second one is just so charming. But I'm actually one of the few people that actually prefers the first one, though. Not to diss the second one at all, because I think the second one's fantastic. I just think the first one was honestly done a little bit better, and it hit me a little harder. So, just to put it simple like that. So when I heard they were finally making a third film, about 6 years after 2 was released, I was like, okay, hopefully this does not disappoint. And this one was not being directed by Paul King, who directed the first 2 films, and also directed Wonka, which is, I think that's actually the reason why he didn't come back to do this one, was because of when he was working on Wonka. So, I still held on to some hope with this movie. And seeing the trailers and stuff, I was like, I am hoping this is good, because this looks good. It looks like they're keeping the heart of the first 2 films. I think they've got it. So, we'll see what happens. So, do I gotta say, does this have the heart and the humor of the first 2 films? Well, I guess it does. This movie does keep the heart and the humor and the charm of the first 2 films. I mean, it's not anywhere near as good as the first 2 films, but I think this one's pretty close, man. Like, we really do have a great family trilogy on our hands here with the Paddington movies. First off, this film is gorgeous to look at. Like, this is a really beautiful looking movie, cinematography wise. The sound mixing, the sound editing was fantastic. I thought the Brown family I thought was great. Hugh Bonneville plays as Mr. Brown. He's great. Emily Mortimer this time plays as Mrs. Brown, which was originally played by Sally Hawkins in the first 2 films. And I thought she did a really good job and actually stepped up the game a little bit, which was surprising in my book. And the kids that played as the Brown children, they were quite good. Also, Antonio Banderas was a nice surprise in this movie. I mean, he was really funny in this movie. I mean, we all know Antonio Banderas for films like The Mask of Zorro, the Shrek films when he plays Puss in Boots, as well as the Puss in Boots spin-off films. But in this film, he really does get his time to shine, and he is really, really good and really funny in this movie as well. Like I said, I wasn't quite expecting that. Also has and also the girl that played as his daughter was really good too. Olivia Colman as this nun was really funny too. I mean, there was a little musical number that they have at the beginning of the movie that kind of felt a little tacked on, but with involving her character, but it was cool nonetheless. I mean, she was quite good in the movie, as she always is. Like, she's good at anything she touches. But Ben Whishaw, yeah, this is the guy that voices Paddington. You guys also might remember him as Q in the later part of the James Bond films. I think it was starting with Skyfall, if I'm not mistaken, when he was introduced as Q, which was obviously my introduction to him. He is so good in this film, and he's such a Paddington is just such a little charming bear. Like, there's not really much else I can say about that. He is such a charming bear. And this movie definitely hits the heartbeats correctly, like when it needs to. Like the heartfelt moments, especially when they have to go looking for his Aunt Lucy, because apparently his Aunt Lucy disappeared when they go to visit her at the retirement home for bears. And I'm not spoiling anything. It's given in the marketing, so. But when they have to go looking for her, I'm like, oh, God, like, you're just hoping that he finds her. I mean, sure, it may come off as pretty predictable, especially, for kids' movies. But you know what? I think it's with the Paddington films that they always tend to deliver the most charm, and it feels like these are the films that the world needs, like, because this world can be pretty cynical at times. But you know what? When films like this come around, like when it's films like this or some like Sing Sing, like, it never hurts to have a little joy in your life. And these movies can prove it. I mean, all you need is a little joy in your life. And I don't know what else to say. These movies do prove that. Like I said, cinematography wise, great. Acting wise, great. The effects are really good, especially on Paddington himself. I mean, it's kind of obvious. Yeah, this movie, like I said, this movie looks beautiful. It's got really good acting, really good camera work, and the sound mixing and the sound editing is great. It's funny, it's heartfelt, it's charming. Pretty much anything you could ask for out of a Paddington movie, you've got. But on the other hand, though, I do have one little issue with this movie. One little issue. There is a twist involved with this film, which, yeah, that's kind of weird when you think about it. The film has a bit of a twist. The twist with this movie makes no sense, in my opinion. I'm not going to spoil it because I do want you guys to go see this movie in the theaters with your family. Like, or if you have kids, take them to see this because they're really going to have a good time with it. But when you try to piece the puzzle together, it's like the script tried to cheat itself there for a second. I don't know what they were doing. But but other than that, though, aside from that little nitpick, I loved Paddington in Peru. Like I said, it isn't as good as the first two films, but like I said, this is something that the world needs right now. Like, a good little charming time to bring a little joy in your life. And I think that's what these movies are really meant to do, is to bring joy to you. And they accomplish it. I mean, you can, like, of course kids will love these movies, but adults can also really latch onto these movies because they're just so charming and delightful to where you can enjoy it, and you're not mad at yourself for that. So, and you're not even ashamed to even admit it. I mean, I got a little choked up towards the end of it. I'm not ashamed to admit it. So, yeah, if you love the first two films, please go see this movie in theaters this weekend. I promise you, you're going to have a really good time. And even if you have kids, take them to see it, like I said before, because they're going to love this. I'm going to give Paddington in Peru an A. Please go see this movie in theaters this weekend, you guys. I promise you, you will not regret it. Let me know what you thought of Paddington in Peru down in the comments section below. And do you guys agree with me that this is a great family trilogy that we have on our hands? Please let me know that as well down in the comments below. Even if you disagree, that's totally fine with me, but please be as respectful as you can. So, yeah, hit that subscribe button down below and that notification bell right next to it. Hit that thumbs up and share this video. You guys know what to do. Anyways, guys, that's it for me tonight. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!